Podcast is brought to you by Two Pits and Bricks Goalkeeper Training.
Hello. I am Coach O, and this is the National Scouting Service podcast show. But before we get started, man, I wanted to give my condolences out to Coach Larry Hilton's family. Coach Larry Hilton lost his battle with life, and I just want to give a moment of silence for him, to his family, sending my condolences to his family, as well as to the other athletes that he may have coached throughout his years. You're going to be missed. Love you, Coach Hilton. Love everything that you have done for me, as well as for the kids and as well as for the community. Well, I am back. I am Coach O. This is the National Scouting Service podcast show. Be sure to stay tuned for Coaches Against Drugs. That's going to be with myself, Coach Reggie Russ. Be looking for that in 2023. We've been working on this. We're going to be into the high schools, the middle schools, as well as having conventions, not only for student athletes, parents, but as well as for coaches as well. So stay tuned for that. We'll be on all the social media platforms coming soon. So be on the lookout for that in 2023. You can follow me on all the social media platforms, some of them being Twitter at Coach O Brown, as well as on Twitter with National Scouting Service at National Scouting, and on Instagram under National Scouting. This show is being broadcasted live on Facebook under National Scouting Service, as well as on YouTube under National Scouting Service. I was trying to get our radio station up, but I've been having some technical difficulties with that. So it may be up later on in the show, but we do go live on Stationhead. If you wanted to tune in to Stationhead, if you're someone that don't get on social media, you can follow us on Stationhead. You'll have to download the Stationhead app and follow National Scouting. When we come on the show live, I will be sporting my T-shirt that is by Cold Tees T-shirts, and today I am wearing the Georgia Bulldogs. You're going to hear it first right here on the show. I'm picking Georgia to win the national championship, so I'm riding with them, and I'm riding with a shirt as well. And this show is being broadcasted in Meek and Zeke Studios. You can follow Meek and Zeke on all the social media platforms, from Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and on Stationhead. Also, our show is being sponsored and supported by Ink to the T T-shirts, which is also on Instagram, and Uncontested Hoops. That is by Coach Herb Washington. You can find him on Instagram as well. Running Back, Giving Back. That is by former Kansas City Chiefs and now currently All-Pro Kimball Anders. And Peace of Mind Athletics, that is by Coach Thomas Peace. You can follow Coach Thomas Peace on Instagram under Peace of Mind Athletics, or you can find him on Twitter at Coach_Peace. And Black Love and Marriage Our Way, you can find them also on all the social media platforms, from Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and on Stationhead. And to our main sponsors is Two Pits Barbecue. Big shout out to Coach L. Campbell and Briggs Goalkeeper Training. You can find Coach Briggs on Twitter at Eric D. Briggs, and you can also find Briggs Goalkeeper Training on Instagram. Them are our main sponsors of our show. Really appreciate them. Without them, I wouldn't be able to do the things I'm doing. They help me throughout the sponsorships, all throughout the shows, with the support on coming in. I did a show with Coach Eric Briggs about a week ago, and if you missed that, you can find that on Instagram as well. Now, with that being said, we're going to go into our intro with our main guest that's coming on the show today. You don't want to miss it, man. This guy have a lot to talk about. He's helping the youth. He's helping college athletes as well as professional athletes as well. So you'll want to tune in to this show, hear what he has to say. It's going to be a great show. I'll have to play his intro into the show. As soon as after his intro finish playing, we'll have him come on the show. Again, I am Coach O. This is the National Scouting Service podcast show, and we are live on Facebook and on YouTube.
Release against press. when you come like this and go at him, because you're making him react. And now you get to see what.
Oh, hold on a second. I'm telling y'all, I'm having some difficulties going on here. I don't know what the problem is. I know we got bad weather this way, so I'm not going to use that as an excuse, but let me see if I can get it showing. Hold on just a second. Let me see if I can get them on here. Just bear with me because I want to play this intro. Hold on, I'm going to upload it again. Sorry about that, people. Just bear with me. I'm trying to get this intro in. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Okay, I was waiting on the intro. Hopefully we got it now. Okay, here we go. So this is our special guest who's about to come on. I'm sorry about that delay, but I wanted to get his intro in. And as soon as it's after this intro, we'll be having him come on the show. So here we go.
His release against press when you come like this and go at him, because you're making him react. And now you get to see what he's going to do. That's what you want to do. You always want to have the leverage to control the defense where you want to go, because at the end of the day, we got one up. That's why they say one-on-ones is cheating for offense, because we know where we're going. They don't know where you're going. But you want to keep that leverage. You don't want to give that up by showing them what you're doing. So giving them a jab step is an easy way to get to base and see what they're about to do.
Dirty money if it's blood on it. I swear it took sweat and tears to get it here. I can't put no love on it. You gotta know you want it. Them niggas who should've done it, but they ain't never done it. Create your lane, you gon' forever run it. To them critics, you come from nothing, you ain't never stunting. I'm always home, I ain't never running. Just make sure you show them youngsters how it's done when you come, so we forever come. Can't stop hustling, keep grinding, keep grinding. Just keep camping, one day you gon' shine, you just ain't had your time. Ain't no rush, they gon' keep diamonds. Ain't no rush in this shit.
Well, that was the video. And with that being said, now I'm going to bring on our special guest. You're going to like this interview. This guy have a lot to say. He's been helping kids, like I said before in the show. So without further ado, we'll be bringing him on in about 3 seconds. And we do have him on the show, man. Welcome to the show. Glad you can come on, man. Sorry about that delay. I was having some technical difficulties about that. But with that being said, man, every time we have a guest come on, we want to give them a round of applause for coming on the show. And really appreciate you for coming on the show and taking some time out of your time. I know you had a busy day. Been trying to get Mr. Milburn on this show. We couldn't get him on yesterday because he had some things he had to take care of, some very important things. But without that further ado, and without that being said, why don't you go ahead and let our audience know who you are and how they can find you on the social media platforms.
Yes, sir. I apologize. I'm in the car. We just got done with the Mike Evans, the free winter camp we held in Galveston down here at Ball High. So we just wrapped that up. The rain let us make it a little bit, so we went ahead and went forward with the third day of the camp. But yeah, I'm DeChe Milburn. Played at Texas State. Out of high school, went there on scholarship. Ended up graduating from Texas A&M Kingsville, so that's where I'm alumni from. My Twitter handle and Instagram handle is iNEEDit. That's just a brand that me and my roommate at Kingsville kind of came up with. He was in a situation where he went to Navarro, won a national championship, made some mistakes, was at a point where he just, you know what I'm saying, it was the last opportunity, so to say. And for me, it was a little bit of the same. I had went to Texas State, then walked on to West Texas A&M, and it didn't work out there. So that was like, it turned to a need at that point. You know, it wasn't like I wanted to play. It wasn't like, it's your last chance. So you need to have everything right, grade. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's just how that came about for people to, for self-motivational purposes almost, you know, to remind you it's bigger than you and it's not about a want at the end of the day. Like, that's why going to work every day a non-negotiable, you know what I'm saying? It's a necessity. You got to have money to live and go hand in hand. So that's just kind of where that came from as far as that handle that I needed part.
All right. Now let our viewers and our listeners know, where are you from?
So I was born in Germany. My
All
daddy,
right.
my daddy being in the military, he moved around a lot, you know what I'm saying? So I was born in Germany. We kept moving back and forth from Texas to Arizona. We'll visit here every summer. I think we lived in Washington before, quite a bit before I was 12. Like, I lived quite a bit of places. After then, we was kind of settling in Texas, so to say. My mama was here. Their relationship ain't work out, so that kind of made me make this our home, remake this our home, so to say. So I lived in Texas most of my life, but I was well traveled from from a baby to 12 years old when they were still together with him being in the military.
All right. Now, with you being born in Germany, did you stay there for a long time? Like, can you speak German, or it was just
I
when you
actually
were a baby?
can. So that's why I was saying, like, I was born there. We came right back to Texas. Then he went somewhere else. Then we go back to Germany when I was like 7, 8, 9-ish. You know what I'm saying? Then we come back because you only gonna stay there 2 or 3 years. Then we come back to the US. So we'll be here like 4 years. Then when I was in 10th, 11th, 12th grade, 10th, 11th, 12 years old, we kept moving back and forth every few years. But you know what I'm saying? That's how it went, where like I was born in both. I was in both places, so I'll be learning German for 3 years, 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Then come back to America, and I'm down here in Galveston County, and it's, you know what I'm saying, whatever it is down here. So I'm going from extreme to extreme every time we move. You know.
Okay. Okay.
So
Now,
yeah, I can speak German. Ich liebe dich. That means I love you. Wie geht's? That means like, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Wie heißt du? What's your name? So I can speak German for sure.
all right. That's what's up, man. Okay. Now we're gonna get into things that I want to know, and one of those was, could you speak German? And you already elaborated on that. Now, when you was playing college ball, what position did you play in high school as well as in college?
So in high school, I played. So when we moved down here, I was either gonna go for high school. I was either gonna go to Hightower, which at the time had DJ Augustine that just moved from New Orleans. They was good in basketball and football. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna go to Ball High, or we was gonna move to League City. This before League City exploded. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's way bigger now around that Baybrook area and all that than when we first had moved there to Center Point. I really didn't want to go to a high tower, and it was far away from where all we were. You know what I'm saying? So we settled on League City at Clear Creek because I went to Ball High, and I had an opportunity to go there. The offense didn't really fit me, and I felt like the culture in place, I wouldn't have succeeded like I needed to at the end of the day. I feel like I was mature enough to make that decision at that age too. So I went to Creek. I did well. The coaches wanted me to be on varsity. I played receiver and I was quarterback too. But then they had a new school built, Clear Springs, that where we lived was zoned to go there. So it was no way I could go to Creek. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up going to Arizona with my daddy. He was stationed in Arizona. They had 5A football in the city he was at, which is, it's still big football. So I moved down there with my sophomore year. I started at DB that whole year. I played sparingly at receiver, but I played every down at DB. Then I got on Max Preps. They had me as like the future star of Arizona. I got all region. I got a lot of accolades my sophomore year. Then my junior year, I played both ways the whole time, and I got I think I had 30 catches for like 800 yards and 10 touchdowns. And then I had like 75, 80 tackles for like 8 interceptions or something. So I literally played both ways my junior year. Part of the reason me moving back was just off the simple fact of the coach told us that I was gonna play both ways. I really wouldn't have came back. Like it was no reason for me not to. Even though I wanted to come back and play, text all my partners, you know what I'm saying, play in front of my grandma, all that. That's cool, but if it ain't gonna be the situation I was in already, then I honestly wouldn't have made that choice. But it still ended up well. I still got a degree and stuff. But yeah, I moved back, and I had intentions to play both ways, and I ended up just playing receiver, where I had 80 catches for like 1,600 yards and 16 touchdowns. But I just planned on being, I planned on being a certain player that I didn't get to be because of decisions I made. Ultimately.
All right. Remember, we can't see you, man. I know the viewers gonna want to see your face. You're in the dark.
Oh yeah. I got you.
All right. Now, another question that I want to ask you with the things that I want to know is, I heard your family was very competitive in football. What other sports was you all competitive in?
Man, throwing rocks at the wall, stepping on cracks. Nah, we competitive in everything though. Really, basketball is a big sport that we competitive in just because it shows off your athleticism. And I actually, my junior year in Arizona, I played point guard and led our team to the game before state. So played basketball at a high level. Some of my family played baseball. Me and Nick and a couple others. Some of them didn't, like my little brother. But it really don't matter in the Milburn family. If it's a sport being played, we gonna compete.
All right. Now, something else I would like to know, and I had to ask this question because it was told by a family member to ask.
Okay.
Who is the best athlete in the family?
Out of the whole family?
Right.
That'll be me. I don't think it's a question. I think everybody would agree. I feel like some people that might think it's a little closer than what I think it is, but I don't think it's close. My Uncle Troy, he was a 3-sport athlete, you know what I'm saying? My Uncle Petrie, my daddy, but yeah, it's just a different level. Like I can't say that they I have to go with me every time.
Okay, who have the best hands in the family? Because I heard your father used to be able to catch that rock too, and I've seen him catch the rock.
So what I'll say about Millie, that's what I call him, my daddy. He has some pretty good hands, and I give him respect for that. He broke the record at Ball High in 24.5A at his time and at Kingsville. But they didn't trust you to throw you the ball 80 times in a year. That's what I be telling people. It's two sides to, getting stats and being force fed. It's like, okay, the system built for you and around you. But if you was in that system, could you catch 80 passes? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. 5'8", 5'9". That means it's going to be a lot of 50-50 balls. I'm a little taller. I don't got to go through some of that stuff. So, I mean, I like his confidence. That's probably where I get it from, but he ain't catching better than me. I can't say that.
Oh, okay. Now, my last question with the things I want to know. You brought up your Uncle DeChe Milburn, who I played ball with. Okay. He was an outstanding free safety, and he can hit. Now, I'm not saying he could be able to cover you because he wasn't fast. But if you caught the ball and it's you and him in the goal line, would you get in or would you get stopped?
I get in, and I can tell you why. I'm gonna get in because the first play of the game, I'm gonna put him on his pocket. So now he's scared and looking for me for the rest of the game anyway. So now once we going head up, he gonna have that in the back of his head, like, dang, he just put me on my pocket 4-5 plays ago. Then I'm gonna be able to get in there. That's how that's gonna work. So it ain't gonna be from running routes and all that. It's gonna be from blocking. I'm gonna try to intimidate him early from blocking.
Okay. Now, I want to move on to quotes that you posted. And I know some of these quotes probably was from you training or from back when you was playing. One of them, well, both of them was on December the 13th. One of them you posted was, your real competition is distraction. What did you mean by that?
Oh, man. So I feel like, especially nowadays, even more so. But when I came up, I used to look at the rankings. I used to look at rivals. I used to look at 24/7 and all that. I was a 3-star, comparing myself to other people, so to say, not appreciating my blessing I got, knowing I had verbal offers from other schools and I could be in another position, and not appreciating Texas State enough, you know what I'm saying, where like the dude that came with me there wasn't ranked. Nobody knew him. He went 3rd round from Texas State. That's why I be telling my kids, it don't matter where you go. You know what I'm saying? What's for you gonna be for you. And I feel like I got distracted on my own from my choices of certain things I did, to where it's more of a you versus you battle day to day and through life. At the end of the day, it's not, I mean, you are competing against other people, but if you competed against yourself to the level that you need to, it's not gonna matter who that other person is, you know. You're just competing with yourself continuously. And that's just the mentality I try to have my guys have, because at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to have a reason why you want to compete every time. You can't, you eventually not going to have that chip on your shoulder. You know what I'm saying? You could try to make, like Tom Brady going through it right now. I think he do a great job of year by year re-putting that chip on his shoulder, just like he that rookie that got overlooked. You know what I'm saying? Which a lot of guys can't do that. And that's why I'm trying to tell them, you got to be able to compete with yourself from, I made these mistakes last year, I had these goals, didn't reach these goals. What am I going to do now to be able to overcome that? Rather than, is it less time on the game? Is it less time with my girlfriend and I'm going to our anniversary instead of a workout? You know what I'm saying? It's just about priorities and figuring out what distractions are, because sometimes, like, the things I didn't know was distracting me, like in the moment. You know what I'm saying? When I'm looking back on it, it's like, it's you versus your distractions at the end of the day, in my opinion.
I like that. Now, your second quote that I saw that you posted, you said, the best way to improve your life is you versus your mentality. What did you mean by that?
Yes, sir. And I just wake up every day, you know what I'm saying? I pray. I think about the things that I wanted to do yesterday, what I could do better to achieve that. What can I do better to achieve my long-term goals? Read a few books. It just really made me into a person where in high school I used to put goals down and stuff I needed to do and wanted to do. But really, if you manifesting and writing things down, you have a plan, you get a routine. Like my grandpa say, my mama's real dad, he always say, if you don't have a plan, you planning to fail. And that just really stick to me in all facets, everything, because it's like, you're just going to be going through the motions and just doing stuff if you don't at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So you versus you is planning out how you're going to do everything. What can I improve on? What have I improved on? Be able to give yourself a pat on at the same time as a you versus you mentality, where some, and you know the credit you want from other people, you know, whether it's stars, it could be, but if you're, and you know that you're doing better and you see it, you know, or being or whatever, you know what I'm saying, you focused on what you got and how you can improve and be better than it. So
okay, you kind of you going in and out. So some of the stuff that you said, our listeners wasn't able to hear because you're breaking up.
Okay, it should come back in. It's just because I was.
Can you hear me?
No, I can hear you. It's about to come back in. It's because I was crossing the causeway real quick.
Okay.
But yeah, basically on the you
All
versus
right.
you
Yeah,
point.
you was breaking up on.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead. I'm
Okay, yeah.
listening.
Basically, just for the you versus you point.
Yeah.
I was just basically going on the lines of even positively and negatively you versus you, because you could be doing great things and nobody know about it, and you're not getting that applause or that pat on the back you need. But if you could look in the mirror and be able to, you know what I'm saying, know that I'm doing better, I'm doing great, I don't need applause from other people. That's the side of you versus you mentality positively. Then negatively, comparing and contrast. I just don't think that's healthy or it's good for your mental at all. You don't know what other people going through. You can't compare
Mm.
where people start or they finish. So it's just no point of even saying, well, this person driving that, or well, they get to do this or they get that, because you don't know what they went through to get it, or you don't know why whatever happened is happening. So I just think it's easier and better dealing with the people I deal with to have them for the you versus you mentality, because now you got to hold yourself accountable, and that's why I like it. Because some people think they're doing good and will never look in the mirror at the stuff they can improve on or do, because they have a me versus another person mentality, and they only comparing themselves to the people they better than, rather than comparing themselves to the people that's better than them. Then you might look in the mirror and see some stuff you could do. So that's why I think it's just easier to compare yourself to yesterday and have a you versus you mentality.
Man, I like that, and I hope that's something you instill in these kids, man, that you train, because we can get out on the field and we can train, we can route run, we can do all that type of stuff. But in my opinion, I think it should be some sit down time where you talk about things and like, hey, you may have a bad day, and you give them a quote like that, or you give them a statement like that, so that can have that in their mind as well. Because a lot of people don't understand that when you playing sports, like you say, is me versus me, even though you got a job to do. A lot of times you got a lot of stuff going on in your head that you're not displaying on the field, or you're not telling to your coach or a teammate. So I like that, man. So I hope that's something that you give into the kids when you're training them, because I know you have a lot of kids coming your way, and I know they're
Nah,
going to get.
definitely. I feel like
Yeah.
that's part of the reason why I break them up by talent level, by grade, by different. I really strategically put kids together or work with kids separately for certain reasons. For that reason, like my guys that's 4 stars and 5 stars, Noah Thomas, Donovan Green, Julian Humphrey, those type of guys. I have different conversations with them than the conversations I have with my walk-ons that's going to Rice, like Ryan Gio or Nathan Barnett. At the end of the day, y'all both have to accomplish certain things, but y'all's path and what y'all gonna have to do to accomplish that is different. So it's different conversations I gotta have with different clients, where my kid Ryan Gio went to Rice and got blocker of the week almost every week, and they already talking about putting him on scholarship after being a freshman year one. He already traveled 3 times as a walk-on as a true freshman. Like, that don't really happen like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whereas Noah Thomas at A&M, we knew he should have been starting from the jump. He's not starting, but I got to tell him, hey, you cold, we know you cold, but you got to play like you a walk-on. You got to block your tail off. You got to do special teams. You know what I'm saying? I got to speak to him in a different nature, to where he turned it on. He got blocker of the week like 5 to 6 weeks in a row, and he ended up starting like the last 6 games of the season. You know what I'm saying? So you hit it on the nail, where I feel like, aside from just being very fundamentally and technically sound, I like the side of the mental side of the game, because I've been a D1 athlete that was recruited at the highest level, and I've been a walk-on who had to come bust their tail every day just to have their spot on the team. I earned a scholarship after being a walk-on, so it ain't no excuses you could tell me. If you want to play football, you want to play football. Now, do you
Right.
want to play it how you want to play it, or do you want to play football? That's what I got to ask these kids, and that's the talks we have. Do you
And
want
that's
to play
good,
how
man.
you want to play, or do you just want to play? Because I just wanted to play. If I wanted to play how I wanted to play after I made my mistakes, I wouldn't have walked on and just bet it on myself. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I tell them, like, everybody not going to be a D1 scholarship guy, even if you had that in your head. But if you feel like that and you think that, you're going to go play somewhere. You're going to go take a
Right.
chance.
Right. I
So
like
you
that. I like that. And before we get into your company, I have to ask you this. You had posted a post, and I'm gonna read it, and then I'm gonna put the picture up, and I'm gonna let you explain on that. You said gave it all up so me and my little brother, Devin Milburn, can get a head start in life. Real definition of putting family first. And I want you to tell me about that quote and about this man that I'm putting up.
So just about that quote, man. Me and my daddy talk. We probably should talk more. It's probably on me why we don't, which I'll do better. You know, I'll be busy, but that ain't no excuse. You know what I'm saying? But I just consciously always thinking no. Even with my mama, you know, like my mama busted her tail for me and my little brothers after they split up, and she took care of us. Not so to say on her own, quote unquote, but I know she took on the majority of the load. Just me having my son is realistic. But I could realistically see, you know, him being in the military helped her be able to have benefits, and now she's working for the government, and she's gonna be able to retire with a great job. You know what I'm saying? And that's from my daddy sacrificing, going through boot camp, doing that military stuff that, you know what I'm saying, nobody really wants to do at the end of the day. And my little brother got to go through school with the Hazelwood Act. I even used a few hours on that. That's basically whatever state the military person enlisted in, you get to get 120 hours for free. So that's why people could, you know, be able to maneuver and do certain stuff. I just got 30% off uh, at Foot Locker because of military discount. You know what I'm saying? So I just know all the little stuff and the big stuff that he did, and I just appreciate it. And sometimes I know I don't maybe let him know that as much as I need to, which I will, but I'll be having to let it known in general. You know what I'm saying? He deserves his flowers at the end of the day.
And that's what's up, man. And that just goes to show you the part of growing up and maturing in life and stuff like that. Because as parents, as you say, you're a parent now, you know, we don't always have the right answers. And our parents sometimes don't always have the right answers. And we try to do the best we can. So for him to be able to see this and to hear that, I know it's going to go a long way for him. Now, with that being said, we fit to get into the main thing of the hour. And let's talk about I need it.
Yeah, man, I need it. I love it. That's the main thing I say first. Like, it ain't something that I'm doing as a hobby. It ain't something that, you know, I'm just trying to make some money off of. It's something that I really honestly love to do. I got in trouble. I made some bonehead decisions, and I made some mistakes that put me in a position where I was on probation during my last few years of football, and I didn't get to play my last 2 years. I have 2 years of eligibility to this day that I never got to use just because of my bonehead mistakes, you know. So that kind of put me in a position where I always wanted to give back. Like, my little brother is 4 to 5 years behind me, so my senior year, I coached him in 707 at his middle school. So I already had been kind of coaching and working with kids throughout, you know. It was always in the back of my head I wanted to give back when I made it, you know what I'm saying? That was the plan. But it just didn't happen of me making it, which I think, in my opinion, God did that. Like, it wasn't no way that I didn't make it from other people. This not coming from me, this coming from other people. So I felt like every time that a barrier came up where I didn't make it was more so about for me to be doing this what I'm doing right now. Not in the sense of if I didn't go on the path I should have went on, I wouldn't have made it. But who's to say I don't get paralyzed? You know what I'm saying? It was every time I was trying to play, it got blocked at the end of the day, you know, by something bigger than me. So that's why I felt like it was kind of destiny for me to go through the things I went through, and for everything to happen how it happened to just be an example in a good way of you can make a mistake, but you can still do what you need to do, and of the sense of stopping other people from making that mistake. So on both sides, you know what I'm saying? You can make a mistake and you can still come back from it and try to do the right things and be a positive impact. Or you could just not make no mistakes and be a positive impact, which I would rather you do without having to make the mistakes. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I trained for almost a year and a half, 2 years for free almost, just because I wanted to work with the kids from my alma mater. I think it's BS how older people aren't alumni, but love to preach about it on Facebook and socials. and nobody give back to the kids. Like everybody want to say these kids is thrown off and different, but nobody goes to help them or try to change. They just talk about them, talk about them, talk about them. You
That's
don't
how it
even
always
understand
happens.
these kids to say that, So I just took it on myself to first help the kids in my school. That's how me and Noah Thomas and Ashton Schumann started working out, and then it just grew from word of mouth and people seeing, that the people that I was working with was getting better on and off the field. I think I got like 20, 25 people I work with that earn their own scholarships. So I'll never say I got them scholarships. I helped them get them, but that's what they earned and they did. I don't want no credit. So um, that's what it was about for me. Then my parents just sat down and had a real conversation with me and was like, you legitimately, I think they didn't believe what I was doing, what it was at first, even though I wasn't getting paid, so to say. That's why they couldn't see it. But then once it like came to fruition, like, wow, you got really like 75 to 100 clients. Your mentor is Coach Hooks. He done had 5 All-Americans for the past 3 seasons. The #1 receiver in Texas 4 years, and basically I'm his protege. So like just different things like that. I think it opened their eyes to be like, well, let me, you know what I'm saying? And then they were like, you need to start charging and holding yourself as a businessman and it's not a sense of, you know what I'm saying, you making money off the kids, you making money off your product that's helping the kids. And that's the two I had to separate and look at it, because there's a lot of people taking advantage of kids. There's a lot of people doing things for self at the end of the day, and that's not me. And that's the main reason I wasn't charging at the beginning. My head coach, Coach Hartman, we still talk a lot. Our whole thing at Clear Springs was INAM. It's not about me. And we all bought into that. And I feel like that's why we made the run we did and played as well as we did with all the different athletes on our team. But I really took that with me, you know what I'm saying, through life. That was something I took with me. Like, it's always bigger than me. It's not about me. It's not about
You
me
know,
at the end of the day. You know what I'm
I
saying?
like
So,
that too. That I now. That's a good
yep.
one. I like that. Hey, now going into I Need It. When was I Need It started?
iNEEDit was started in 2015. Uh, Me and my roommate, uh, James Washington, he from A-Leaf, he went to A-Leaf Elsick. It was just a little brand we kind of came up with. So, you know what I'm saying? You'll make a play. I need it. You know what I'm saying? It was just something we had started saying, and then it grew. And I ended up getting it tatted on my wrist, you know what I'm saying? And it was organic at the end of the day, and it was real. It wasn't it just happened organically, so it's hard to explain it, but it was just a sense of like, you know what I'm saying, of that need. Like I ain't the same as y'all. We don't want it the same. We ain't gonna do the same things to get what I want, and that's what that word is expressing. Once you see that, you know what I'm saying. I
Okay.
need it. You don't need it. I need it. It's a
Right.
difference.
Now, what are some of the things that you focus on in your training as a personal trainer or a speed and agility trainer?
Yes, sir. So the most things that I focus on is fundamentals for the first thing. Simple as not false stepping, running with your arms, picking your knees and toes up. I'm very detailed and technically sound to where sometimes we're not even working on certain stuff until 3, 4 months, down the line. But the reason I like that with these kids is because at first I was throwing a lot at them, but they don't have reps and haven't played enough for them just get stuff and hear stuff and run with it. You really have to break it all the way down, because the way I look at it is like this. We played outside. So when you was trying to come tackle me the day before and you was backside pursuit and you kept tackling me, I need to know that the next day. So now I'm going to hit the brakes on you. And when you keep trying to do that, I'm going to juke back. But that's not from me watching film or, you know what I'm saying, doing training. That's
Mm-hmm.
from me playing with my partners, and I don't want to get embarrassed if the same thing happened to me yesterday. So I'm getting better daily just playing outside. Where we was getting game-like reps at the end of the day, even though it's subconsciously in a way, because we just having fun playing with our friends. We was playing and getting reps where they don't get them reps.
Right.
They get Call of Duty. They getting video game reps. They not moving their legs and feet. So that's the main thing that I realized. Like just teaching them how to run a slant, how to run an out, wait forward,
Mm-hmm.
get in a good stance. It's very minuscule and simple, and I think that's just why my kids run juke, 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 come back, all that, but you can't line up when I say run a 3-step slant and run 3 steps and run a slant. So I think just because I do fundamentals and stay very technically sound, that kind of separates the people I work with from other people who do a good job still. But me teach you how to run a 3-step slant, a glance, a speed out, all the basics. Once you get to college, your coach don't have to develop to teach you that. And that's the key with me talking to these college coaches that they're saying about my guys that they're starting to work with is a lot of things I don't have to teach them. I don't have to reteach them. They know it, and that's what I want my leverage to be for my kids. When I got to college, it was a big jump from my sophomore year when I started games than me going. Now there's knowledge of the game and being, you know what I'm saying, and knowing. That's it. It's different. The game don't change. From Little League to NFL, it don't change. The difference is
Now,
why I keep it simple. Yes.
okay. Now with your training style, how is your training style different from a lot of other speed and agility coaches? You know, we have a lot of trainers out there. Their styles may be different in the teaching, the terminology. So what sets you apart from them?
So I feel like for one, it's a lot of yelling and barking and directing and instructing, and there's no teaching. So I pride myself on really teaching. Like today, we were working on a scenario, and this is different ways that I try to practice being able to explain what I'm trying to get them to understand. But I was trying to get them to understand once we come off the ball, the DB don't know what we're doing, right? When they're able to hold their leverage at a certain point in the route, they're able to know none of these routes are coming. And then I just got to try to key these routes, you know what I'm saying, to try to defend. Where I'm trying to get them to realize if you attack different leverage points, or let's say it's cover 2, the corner got to stay in the flats. The corner is not going to go to the deep fourth. The corner not going to go to the hook the curl. His job is the flats. He got to do that. Attack his leverage. Make him go where he got to go. Open up your window some. Now it's easier to play football. So that's what I mean by the knowledge side of pre-snap coverage, knowing that. Being able to tell by alignment and assignment, I'm going to manipulate what you're supposed to do on defense to help myself get open, you know? So what me and Coach Hooks talks about a lot of people do a lot of the same stuff we do, and a lot of people are able to have their kids almost do well. I just think what separates guys like me and him and Ross Oppo and my guy Coach Miller in SA, my guy Dez Haynes from Lamar, he training in Austin. What separates that is you really had to play, I wouldn't say at a high level, but you really had to play to be able to tell somebody when, how, where, and why to use them. Where high school coaches, they do a great job of teaching scheme, and they do a great job of teaching things they learn at clinics, so to say, or from other coaches. But it gets to a point where you're telling somebody something, and you got to tell them why, when, or where. You can't just tell them, I need you to do this, because it don't work like that if they don't know what's going on. So now all my guys know I'm using this release
That's what
cover 2 to open my window. Oh, I'm doing this because this flat defender got to go to the flats. So I'm going to expand them, then get vertical, because I got to threaten to where he got to go. So it's just little stuff like that. I feel my kids actually are using those footwork drills, the speed and agility, and getting straight to it with a plan, rather than having all that in your bag, but you don't know when, where, and why to use it. But you could do it, but you don't know how or why. So I think that's just the difference.
And I like that too, because one of the things you said is the why. And with these kids these days, you have to be able to explain and give them the why. When I was coaching,
I give them the blues about that, because I say we had coaches we knew was telling us the wrong thing. Yes, sir. Run through a wall.
You better not ask why. You better not ask why.
Yes, sir. Run through a wall for them. And
but
now,
these days, you have to.
I'm telling you all right, you're going to take 3 steps and do the slant right here because he going to be off and it's going to, you know what I'm saying, keep you from taking a big hit, whatever the case may be. Well, some. All right, well, you do it your way and you show me how you was going to do it and let's see what works.
Right.
That's how I got to do them sometimes because they that Y generation. Like, sometimes you just got to listen. And I had that issue too. Like, I didn't listen to everything I should have. So I understand that side, but I get you with their generation. They are the Y generation. That's them.
And you got to have an answer for the why. And then as a coach, there's nothing wrong with that. Because if a kid asks the why, you can't just tell them something and don't have no reason behind it. Because then they're going to be like how you were saying, these coaches don't know what they're talking about.
Yep, exactly. It go hand in hand. So I appreciate it. At the same time, I tell them, I want you to ask questions and I don't want you to do something wrong and keep doing something wrong. And then you want to ask me, well, this, and that, but you just don't ask. No, ask questions and let's figure stuff out so we can keep getting better and growing.
That's right. Now, what age groups do you train and what is the time limit that you normally train someone and your schedule for training?
So I used to do it to where I posted a schedule and I'll just have whoever show up and we'll go through the session and the workout. The business has grown, grace of God. Got to give God thanks to the point now where I have 4 locations at the end of the day. I have one on the east side. I got one in Katy that is kind of for my Cypress, Katy area people. I got one in Pearland for the west side, Fort Bend, Mo City-ish, Pearland. And then I got one on the south side. I try to keep it to where it's only 2 sessions there at a time. Then I typically do it by talent level or age group compared to the session. So we working on stuff at a rate we need to work on stuff and we getting better. We're not just doing stuff that's not going to relate to the game. Now, I'm big on everything I do. You're going to see them use it in the game and they're going to text me and I'll be able to be like, see, this is why we did that because you have to do it in the game now. So I'm big on it translating to the game. So I train every age group though. I got 6-year-olds I train, and like you said, I've trained NFL players. So the main kids I like working with, just from the jump, would be the 7th and 8th graders, because that's that age where they're transitioning. It's right before they need to understand that it's a business, and the main thing I tell my parents now, why I had to shorten my groups down and keep it very, tight knit, is it's a pageant contest when you go into these camps and when you go into these combines and all this stuff. It's a pageant contest. It's not who's the best athlete or who. It is a pageant contest. Who looks like they that person and who making the plays at the same time. So that's why I try to tell my parents, it ain't 1989. It's not 2010 where I played. The college coaches don't want to develop. And you got to be trained if you want to go D1 with the transfer portal. If you don't go to school, if you don't look like you prepare before you go to school, they are going to go to the portal, get somebody that's already been in college and ready to play right now, rather than taking a chance on a high school guy. And that's just how it is. So
them just facts.
We could think however we want. Especially we got this problem bad in Galveston County, Coach. When I go to Katy, Pearland, them other areas, them kids hang on my every word and they work harder. And I think a lot of kids down here for the F, just being real. A lot of them, I'm just helping them because I want to see the people where I'm from succeed. So I'm never going to turn my back on that at the end of the day, even though I can make more money in other areas. And they don't be showing up, Coach. They do what they want to, but I feel like that's our culture down here. Everybody parent feel like they could, you know what I'm saying, they could have went to the league or coached. Everybody think the way they know is the best, where areas like Pearland, Katy and that, they don't got that mindset. You know what I'm saying? I want to send my kids, this NFL players though, you know what I'm saying? Like Jonathan Joseph, I train his son. I want my son to work with somebody else who, you know what I'm saying? Like if anybody could say, I'm going to just train my son and nobody else going to work with him, it's Jonathan Joseph, perennial all-pro, Fringe Hall of Fame guy, but he's still getting his son trained. So, it's just like in the area, and understand how.
I'm literally breaking up again.
Me, you got other ones, Donnie Bags, Brandon Roberts. It's a whole bunch of people. So it ain't no more they overlooking me. I'm better, and they not giving me it. Nah, you not working, or you not trying to be seen because you got an ego or too much pride, whatever the case may be. It ain't no more excuses now. That's why I like it, and I wish I would have got to play in today's age. And some older people like my age say that just because of it's less politics now. The politics is gone. I can post my workouts and my film and stuff every single day for people to see it. Now, my pride and ego make me not want to post it because I don't think it's cool. They gonna look at me a certain way. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing.
Yep.
I got some kids that post every day, end up with an offer just because they keep posting and the right person seeing it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. No excuse.
And
It ain't.
they should. I saw a coach asked on Twitter last week, do kids still get recruited off of Twitter? And a college coach came and said, yes, I still recruit off of Twitter because now I can see they workouts if I can't make it to their school or they working out outside of school. So sometimes, like you just said, you have to market yourself. There's nothing wrong with marketing yourself. Just because you don't want to put the film out, that's on you.
Yep. That means you honestly not confident in your craft. That's what I tell them. It go hand in hand. Who wouldn't want to post stuff they doing, especially y'all? I know if y'all doing stuff well, y'all gonna post it. I don't gotta ask that question. Y'all can. That's what they asked me about more. I mean, I got my guy. They lock in and they try to get better, so I don't want that to be the narrative. But I also know that I gotta record y'all workouts because y'all want content, not just so you can watch that video when you get home. Dang, I wasn't getting out in 3 steps right here. I got to get my weight down and my shoulders down.
Because they're gonna critique themselves.
Y'all might look at it a little bit like that. Y'all trying to post that on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. That's what you want the content for. That's the world, and that's the way it is. Nothing wrong with it, but that lets you know who got their craft in order. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Now let me ask you. Let me ask you this.
Yep.
Let me ask you this. With the skill and training that you're doing, and I'm pretty sure you have, and we ain't got to say no names. Have you ever ran into situations where now the high school coaches are mad at you because the kid is saying, this is who I train with and this is what we work on, but you may have that coach that only can teach the X's and O's and saying, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, so that was tending to happen some. Not as much as you would think, just because, which really made me realize I kind of had a little more respect than I thought. Schools like Dickinson, Clear Springs, they do a good job of us communicating with each other. And because everything, I know for a fact, I pride myself on everything I do is to be for your scheme when you go to school. Because I'm not teaching you nothing that's like DeChe's. Like I tell them that everything I'm teaching you, either I learned or I did from experience. It's not just, oh, this idea popped in my head, let's do it like this. You know what I'm saying? None of it's like that. So that's why I'm explaining to them, man, that's a great question. So it's like, basically I had to say, like, coach, like, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm saying. For instance, I'll tell you why. I had a guy who was putting his inside foot back. The receiver coach keeps telling him he wants him to have his inside foot up. He's teaching it in the room. He wants it to be uniform and everybody do the same thing because he don't want it to seem like this kid get to do something that everybody else don't get to do. I said, coach, do you know why he's putting his inside foot back? Because he showed me the clip. He said, I don't, but I don't understand it. Like it's like he don't even want to see no way. We're not putting our inside foot back, so it don't matter, basically. You know what I'm saying? I explained it to him. I say, I've taught him that if it's a DB on the inside, instead of always taking a free release or having a jab, you could put your inside foot back and your first step is attacking him. He got to back up. Like no matter what, he has to back up right now. Rather than you stepping outside away from him, he could stay flat and just sit there. You know what I'm saying? If I step at him with that first step, he has to back up. So the coach was like, wow, like I fully understand why you say that. I'm gonna speak with him about it. And actually, we might have to start using some stuff, 2 months later, he was coming to my workouts. You know what I'm saying?
And watch
my workouts and trying to learn and stuff. So definitely, sometimes it's a give take with some coaches, but like Coach May, I love Coach May in Pearland. I was working with Aiden, Gasper, Patrick Bridges, Christian Pitts, and Evan Gracio. All four of their top receivers, and they all played well this year. He did a great job of communicating with me, and now we echo in the same thing to where it's no head button. We could come to a common median where we both teaching the same thing, and they getting better at what we want them to do in this program at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's more so about the coach and the trainer, neither side having an ego, because I really don't have problems with people in general, but especially coaches, because I don't have no ego. I'm coming at them like, hey, coach, I just want my players to do whatever they need to do to fit your scheme. I'm coming off like that at the back. I know if I come any other way, you're going to think, oh, this guy all about himself. He trying to put out his product, and that's why I don't do it in that sense, because it don't make sense. You got to go play at your high school or your college at the end of the day. So why would I make it you doing it my way? That's stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I make them feel like it's y'all world and we just living in it at the end of the day. Let me know what I need to do to help you in your world. And it make it easier that way. And I read that, and like I read a lot. The 48 Laws of Power, the first power. Never overshine the master. Even though that's not my master, I understand the concept of what the book is saying. You know what I'm saying? You can make yourself look like you that guy all the time, every time. You can make other people feel like they that guy. Yes, coach. I want him to do whatever you want him to do in your scheme, and I'm going to teach your technique what you doing, coach. Yes.
And just get them better.
I don't got too much pride or ego to do that.
Right.
I think that's because my daddy was in the military, so I kind of understand that side of it maybe. But I never been that guy who needed the credit. I had an ego at the end of the day.
Okay, now let's get into some players you have trained, and I know you named a lot, but I didn't hear two guys that I know you worked with before. One of them was Jonah Williams and Zach Parrish.
Okay, I definitely was gonna go on a run. I like to give them a little shout out at the end, but so Jonah and Zach, I've been knowing since they was in diapers. My daddy, Uncle Sean, to my daddy is like his little brother, which you know, that's like Petrick Ace.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So Brandon was right up under me and Brock before Brock passed away. Rest in peace, Brock. And then Dylan, I actually was training him a little bit before he just went the school route. But Zach has always been a little dog at the end of the day. You know,
man, I know, dude.
In a good way, in a bad way sometimes.
Yeah, you go against the grain. You will go against the grain.
But I tell people that's the best football players at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? I know I got an edge to me that I can flip the switch that I'm not normal. And I feel like that's what makes me good sometimes. You know, you can't be normal and play football. It don't work. So Zach transferred to Clear Springs. I think it was a good move for him. I think he's going to have a big season. He's a thumper. He's getting faster. He's getting more agile. He's doing all the things he needed to do. One second, I'm going inside. He's doing all the things he needed to do to be able to take his game to the next level, which I told him he was going to have to do. I said, you're going to have to be able to show these coaches that you can run. They want to see that. And I tell everybody, being in Texas, you're going to have to get track times. There's not going to be a school that's going to offer you a scholarship in Texas without seeing you running track, because that's the assumption in Texas. You running track, you fast. So Zach, as far as just being physically ready for varsity, he already there. It's just about him growing into maturing into that player we all know he's gonna end up. And it ain't no rush because he's gonna get there. Jonah is a little more mature physically, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, people got different paths, and people got like Nicholas Peace. I know you spoke with him. Nick took a major jump from sophomore to look like two different people. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was kind of speaking on earlier. I got to talk to them in different ways, because it's like, Zach, we don't know if you're going to be the 6'3", 6'4" guy. So at the end of the day, how you got the chip on your shoulder now, we going to have that chip. That's like how I was. You're going to have that chip at all times. You undersized, and that's how it is in football, especially in college. You know what I'm saying? Jonah, you gonna get a little more of the hype and a little more, be on the good side of politics because of size and stature and that type of stuff. We can't let that go to our head though. We got to keep working like we don't have none of that. You know what I'm saying? And Jonah got district MVP this year. He did a great job. I mean, the consensus is that the district is down that they was in. End of the day, you know what I'm saying, which is true. So that's the type of stuff why I just want them to stay humble. It's a great achievement of being a district MVP, but when y'all beating everybody 68-0, you still need to be humble enough to find the things you could work on and get better at to improve, and not think you made it just because you got district MVP in that district. Because you could easily be in another district, maybe like Seed King, Summer Creek, Atascocita, North Shore district. You might not have got MVP. You might have. Right. I'm not saying you're not, but we got to be realistic at the end of the day. And I feel like a lot of people not realistic with the kids where I am. If you a D2 guy, you a D2 guy. FCS guy, you a FCS guy. You a walk-on, I'm going to let you know that. So,
and that's good because you have to let them know that. And I agree he had a great season. But, you know, people like us that have played the game on high levels, yeah, you did good. We praising you for that. And we proud of you. But now, can you bring that energy when you have to play against a good playoff team?
Exactly.
Are you gonna play every down that we seen that you was playing, and not just him, anybody that you was playing? Yeah, the whole team. Because now you're gonna get against these guys that may be 4 or 5 star, and they hearing about this 10-0, and that's the MVP. We're about to see.
Exactly, and that's what he about to go into this year, which. I see another edge to him this offseason. He putting in work, and I see both of them. They really, Zach playing basketball right now. You know, Jonah does baseball too. But Zach, he's just taking another step as a leader of maturity. Zach always been a playful kid who I love to play with all the time, you know. But I had to learn it's a time and place where you playing and you serious at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he's locking in on that side and really taking that next step, which I try to explain to all of them. I don't have to have this talk with Zach and Jonah because they both leaders, but they have a generation of a lot of people following followers. So it used to kind of be the leaders follow other leaders, then the followers follow the leaders. Where now the leaders follow the followers who's following the followers. Like the leaders on the team ain't leading, and they the people who following other people. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm glad, like with guys like those two and the guys that you are training, that they get to hear that, because you and I know their fathers ain't gonna let that happen. You know, they're gonna, if I have to jack your brother up, you're gonna get back in line. Yep. And I like the company that they keeping because they hanging around guys that they seeing trying to find a way out and trying to earn that scholarship to be able to go off to school.
That kind of speaks to what I was talking about earlier about how the groups I try to have, like by talent level, grade, area. I really think about all that. Like if I have a group, same talent level, so to say, I'm gonna have my bigger receivers in this group because y'all not gonna move how these smaller receivers gonna move or whatever, you know. I really try to have them around like-minded people doing the same stuff, whether if it's I could look at two other 6'4" receivers run routes, or I can ask 2 other Power 5 players right now, what's your experience at school? So I'm big with everything on and off the field connects, and football is just a sport of life at the end of the day, you know?
And that's good, man. I haven't had too many trainers to hear them put it like that. I'm gonna put the players that I feel need to be together compared. Not that they better than the other players, but sometimes
they are better than the other players, and they need to understand that. So now it make my kids in that group under that be like, when they see a kid not in that group this next month, and they look on Twitter and he working with Noah, it's like, well, why he get to work? Yeah, he working. He got moved up. He's better.
Yeah.
And that's why I try to make them compete with themselves. So now you're not looking at why this kid in that group. You need to look at why you ain't in that group, because why that kid in that group don't got nothing to do with you.
I like that. Now, my last question is on the players you train. In the video, it's evident you train Mike Evans. How is that? Because we know he's a future Hall of Famer by easy. He's one of the top receivers, if not the top receiver in NFL. How is it ever to a point, and I know he's a humble guy, like, man, I'm an all-pro. You don't tell me how to run this route. Do it ever get there? And I know it get competitive at sometimes. I know it do.
So like how I explain that is I started off with the first pros I trained, Coach Moore, who really got me into training other than LaKendrick Williams. So LaKendrick Williams helps Mikey out with Mike Evans Elite. So that's how I started coaching with that beat. But Coach Moore gave me an opportunity at a gym called Olin ASM. That's in Cyprus. Casey Hampton worked out there. A few other people. A lot of NFL people been working out there. Coach Moore actually brought me down to UCLA when I was in high school, wanted to offer me. It's kind of over his head to be able to make that offer. And we just had a great relationship ever since. That's why I tell my kids, you never know, just because you don't go play for a coach, who could be a person that could really impact your life and really help you down the line. This is a relationship business. And I always put emphasis on REAL. You know what I'm saying? The real part. Because a lot of people have relationships that's not real. Me and Coach Moore, I didn't have no ill will towards him because he ain't offered me. I also knew it was over his head. But I also knew now he got me a job to train Ricky Seals Jr., Cordell Hodge of the Falcons, Courtney Davis of the
Wow.
Colts, and all these people. So, yeah, you didn't offer me, but you dang near gave me something better than that where this go further than just a 4 to 5 year scholarship. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's why I tell people it's a relationship business. But, yeah, getting the chance to train them, it kind of broke my ice a little bit because at first, you know, you just try to you observe, you see the stuff they work on, then you tell them what they could work on. Then they either say, "I do it like this. This is how I'm gonna do it," or they open to change. You know what I'm saying? Just because they at the level where they can say the way I do it work at the end of the day because of the level you playing at. You know what I'm saying? But after I show them, that's the thing I think is good about me training. I started like 27 to 30. Like if I was playing still, I kind of be in my prime, I'm able to move and show stuff to where I don't just have to stand back here and I'm pointing and telling you and da 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 da. I'll get in my forces that I'm just wearing at the workout, do exactly what I'm telling you to do in the forces. Then it kind of make you look bad because you're not doing it in cleats and I'm doing it in forces. You know what I'm saying? So that side of it gets them to be like, okay, you know what I'm saying? He might know what he's doing. Then I know they're gonna go look my name up because I know I'm not an NFL guy, but I know if they look up, they're gonna see credentials, and that's when it gets to the point of, all right, I'm gonna listen to you, what you got, whatever you take, I can learn from you. I'm gonna add that to the bag. Whatever I feel like, kind of not, I ain't gonna disrespect you, but you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna kind of just do it my way and then keep it pushing. Where when I worked with Mike, he was just open, you know, he was really open to getting better and learning. A lot of the stuff we agreed on, and that's what makes it easy for me, just teaching technical fundamentals. I don't have to have a lot of stuff teaching than other people. It's very minuscule if it's different if you teaching fundamentals. You see what I'm saying? Where you teaching your own thing, it's probably a difference. You got to explain how you do it, where I'm teaching what the majority doing, so it's easier to get to a common median with that person I'm working with.
All
But
right.
yeah,
All right.
Mike, class act, man. It's like funny because he like, man, we used to like watch you play. So I kind of like, not like he looked up to me to where it's like, you know what I'm saying? But he just like,
Yeah.
you was cold in the area and I remember you playing, you know what I'm saying? You set a standard, so to say, in the area of playing receiver where, you know what I'm saying? He respect me in that sense to where Cordell Hodge and Ricky Seals and them, they had to fill me out a little bit because they don't know me. They ain't really heard about me. To where Mikey seen me on the sense that he younger than me. So, you know what I'm saying? He kind of give me a blank check of respect at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, I seen you do it and I know you did it. I'm going to listen to what you're saying. The same thing with Marcus Johnson. Marcus texts me, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna follow your lead this offseason. Let's make it happen. And I'm like, yeah, let's go. Like that's the ones I want to work with at the same time because I know y'all in real life. You know what I'm saying? And that's
That's
special
what's
that
up.
Marcus was, you know what I'm saying, behind me as a sophomore, and now I get to work with you as an NFL player, where I could easily be like, which most people in our area, for whatever reason, a hater, and be like, man, Marcus made it. I know I could have made it. You know, that's how they think
And
down
you know
here.
what they
I'm the
say?
exact
Yeah.
opposite. I'm like, Marcus,
Man.
you did everything. I tell him this. We had this conversation. You did everything I wasn't doing. Because all the stuff I could do, I could do. You put in that extra work while you made it. You know what I'm saying? And he appreciates that because it's too much.
it's too much love to spread to everybody get enough where it ain't got to be everything a competition or comparison. You know what I'm saying? So
That's right.
I like working with Mike and Marcus and them. And it makes it fun for me to see it go full circle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now, my last question for you is, how do you feel about NIL deals for high school athletes and college athletes, since that's in play now?
I feel like it's a great deal. I just feel like people don't actually understand it, and that's the issue. NIL, first of all, stands for name, image, and likeness. So when we say name, image, and likeness, that's not of the university, that's of the player. And people got to understand that. If the university chooses to, like University of Texas, they got a collective. So that is people that's putting money in a pot. So it's not just coming out the air. This is like an account. It could be a business account, an offshore, whatever the case may be. I don't know how it works, but they have a collective that puts money together, and now every O lineman that signs with University of Texas gets a $50K NIL deal each year. You know what I'm saying? So it works like that. 75, 80, 95% of these schools don't have Texas money. So that's
Right.
not going to work. Like OU can't do what Texas doing. That's why OU recruiting class this year look how it look. That's why Texas class look how it look. You know, so it's a real thing about the money. But at the same time, kids got to understand these schools not giving out money like that. If you have a name, image, and likeness, then you're able to leverage that to be able to, you know what I'm saying, move forward with ethical draws. You know what I'm saying? Your own brand ambassadorship. But for you to get that money from that school, you're gonna have to either come in as a 4 or 5 star, be highly rated, and maybe get some on the front end. You know what I'm saying?
And you better be performing on that field too.
Or you're gonna have to perform on the field. So that's why I say your best bet is to get it before you get there. Because then it's like you getting this off your high school talent and basically off what we think you're gonna be. Like, you know, like when you get your second contract in the NFL, or no, as a rookie, when you get that contract for $30 million and ain't played it down yet. You know what I'm saying? That's your chance in college right now beforehand to cash out on NIL, whether it's, I don't know how they doing it. I'm knowing kids is getting paid before they, you know what I'm saying? You better get that beforehand, because once you locked into that school, they able to handle that situation however they want to handle that situation. And that's what kids got to understand. I know for me personally, ideally what I would like to see for people like me is just having a conversation with either the school, the collective bargaining agreement, whoever it is. But I feel like my pay from the people I work with, especially the people that's in college with name, image, and likeness, should come out of the NIL deal, whatever it may be. It shouldn't be out of my kids' pocket or my parents' pocket at that point. If they made themselves to leverage themselves to get to that point, and you need them to continue to play at that level, they should have to come out of pocket for that. That's what name, image, and likeness. So stuff like that, I feel like that's the next step. Car, you know what I'm saying? That's necessity stuff. So that's where I would like to see it go for people like me personally, to take a step, being able to pay the trainers, you know what I'm saying, $5,000 for the year, $7,000, whatever the case may be, for however many workouts. But I don't think that should be coming out the parents' pocket when kids have NIL. That's the gray area I'm confused on. That's all. Just like how the money comes, I'm kind of starting to understand where it's coming from, but it's just a lot of gray area because it's so new, you know? It's new.
All right. Now, before we go, got to get into this. I had asked you about your 4 artists, and you had threw one at me. I ain't know nothing about, and I had to go back and listen to. Now, Coach Milburn told me that these are the artists he listened to. Now, are these the same artists you listen to when you training players too? Do they have to listen to this music too, like far as motivation?
Sometimes. So my players be telling me I'm old. They be like, Coach, you old, Coach. We be listening to Jeezy. You know what I'm saying? We gonna listen to a little bit of that. Sometimes Saturday, Sundays, we probably not listening to no rap. Because Coach DeChe really don't even listen to rap in his free time. He listening to something from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. You know what I'm saying?
And he's not.
That's just
he's not playing either.
Me and my mama's son, we listening to R&B or some blue jack. You know what I'm saying? Some feel good music. So I ain't even just big on rap, but
Yeah, Jeezy, Starlito, Blast and Bino, Cheryl. That Cheryl, that's for my mom. You know, to that encore. That's that side of it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
because when you got me that one, I was like, oh, who is that? So I had to go listen to it. But for our viewers and our listeners, at the end of this show, I put together a playlist, which I do for all our guests, and we're going to play it on our Stationhead radio. So you'll have to download the Stationhead app, which is Stationhead, one word, and follow National Scouting. And I'm gonna get them links to you too, Coach. So you always have them. Your playlist gonna always be on our radio station, and it's gonna be on Spotify as well. But that's, hey, man. Oh, man, not a problem, man. I appreciate you coming on the show, brother. You taught me a lot today. I learned a lot, especially with how you training these kids and ain't just getting out there doing field work. It's mental aspect of it too. And that's what I like most of the part, because a lot of times kids don't know how to lose. And it's crazy, they don't know how to win neither.
Nope.
You'll see them going crazy, being disrespectful, and you got to learn how to carry yourself, because when you get to school, they're not going to tolerate that. And when a coach tell you no or stop, they don't know what they're getting told no or stop for. Yep. So I'm glad you helping them with that. I'm glad the rapport you build with the schools, because I know AAU is a big thing, and I'm just saying on basketball, but not with all basketball. Sometimes they don't get along with the coach, because they telling the kid to do this, and then when the kid come and play for the school, when it's more organized and running plays, where AAU, we can do like UNLV used to do back in the day. We just run and gun it. Yep. We ain't got to run no offense. So I'm glad
that's
that you.
Big issue, like that's basically equivalent to 7-on-7, and you doing 7-on-7, and you go back to school and your team a triple option team. You know what I'm saying? Basically. And that's what's happening when kids, even basketball, going to college. You going from running and gunning at AAU 65% of the time. Now this coach wants you to run a set. All right, now we're doing a flex screen. All right, now you got to do this. Now you got to do that. You never even heard these words. You just used to get the ball and go.
Yeah, right. We don't do the coach. We run option. and then that's another thing too. See, man, we could go all night with this. I got two things before I let you go and give your shots out. You will send a kid to 7-on-7. This kid can shine, have scouts looking at him. He go back to school and they run in the veer. He don't even get the ball. So are you defeating that kid? You ain't really helping that kid. Now, my second question to that. We all know that we have the NCAA portal where kids can go in and leave. Should that be okay for high school kids? Because a lot of kids will leave because it don't fit them right. Then schools will hold them back. They won't release them. Why?
So the first part, I think. So I'll say this: I think everybody who's playing, who wants to play receiver in college, needs to play 7-on-7 yearly. Now, what I will say is, on the 7-on-7 scene, it's too many people that's playing on teams because A, B, and C got offered on that team, or my homeboys are playing on that. It's too. Those type of decisions, like even training, I tell everybody, I'm not the trainer for everybody. It's probably another receiver trainer for somebody who's going to get out what they need to get out that kid that I can't do. Like, I'm not naive or egotistical to think that I'm the best or perfect. I don't care to be the best. But what I'm saying is it's the right fit for each kid. And if each kid is more worried about their fit, then, this 7-on-7 team winning. They getting the exposure. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what's going to help you come to season. Like, some of these kids, like, I wouldn't say that a kid that's in the option don't need to not do 7-on-7, because that might help you for when you get to college, expedite the process of all the other people that done came from that option school where you kind of hip, you know what I'm saying? Because you have done some 7-on-7 and no concepts. But what I'm saying is you need to have the right fit. If your coach is more worried about y'all playing 7-on-7 and y'all got a tournament every weekend and y'all just practice 7-on-7 and you ain't doing no skill or drill work through your 7-on-7 team, yes, you shouldn't be playing 7-on-7. You wasting your time because you're not building your skill set or getting better. You're just going out there getting live reps. You know what I'm saying? And that's the big thing that I had to scale back from my first 2 years coaching 7-on-7 is I'm way bigger on the training now. I'm way bigger. Like, we going to play 7-on-7, but I know you being able to train, rep, train. Once we go to 7-on-7, is easy. Now, if we doing 7-on-7, 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 once you making the mistakes you going to make, we're not currently working on that or building no foundation. So then we just playing. And it turned to AAU.
And they don't know why they making a mistake. They don't know why they false stepping.
So that's what I'm trying to avoid just with the people I work with. That's why I'm happy that, you know what I'm saying, Mike Evans made it to where it's free this year. Now my parents don't have to worry about, I got to come out of pocket for 7-on-7 and training because they know they need to train. No, we can just do training. Then we're going to use our training in game like reps. And that's all 7-on-7 is. It ain't about the plastic trophies. It's not about the plaques. It ain't about none of that. It's about getting game like reps and working on your craft and getting better for Friday night. Like, that's literally the only thing that's for, and that's what it need to be about. As far as the portal, I don't see why they don't. So to say, my only thing is if they do that, I like the way Arizona did it, which I just found out this offseason. So Arizona still has 5A, 4A, 3A, 2A, 1A, but they have an open class. So the top 4A in there, 2 or 3 or 4 of the top 5As in there. Then it's a whole bunch of 6As like Hamilton, Chandler, these like national teams, so to say, you know. I like that idea better for teams like, say, a Carthage, Denton Ryan, you know what I'm saying, DeSoto. We could get some matchups like that through the playoffs, which I can see people moving to different areas and doing that. But if they keep it in the 6A, 5A, I don't think they should do open. I just don't, because I already see what's going on, and I see how I'm looking at my class. We did a great job at Clear Springs, right? We went 4th round. We really didn't do nothing, though. And we might as well just stay. I go to Ball High. My other partner from Houston, he go to school in Houston. My other partner from La Park, we go to Houston. Because we didn't win at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So if you winning, I feel like it's a good move. But if not, or you don't get a scholarship, then some of these people making moves for no reasons and they running from adversity. That's the thing I just don't want them kids to do. Like, you're not going to be able to have a perfect situation. There is no such thing as a perfect situation. So you just running from adversity at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only reason why I say that, because you know how these parents will get with that. It'll be every semester, not every season. Oh, my son ain't get this. Okay, we going over here. Okay. Now
you said it that they only can do it their sophomore or junior year. See, so now you taking the gamble now because now you only got 1 year to play. Is it worth it?
See, I like stuff like that. Then it puts some accountability on that parent to make sure that kid making a good decision rather than making a hasty decision.
Because like you said, they'll be jumping and moving. Last thing, Coach. Hey, last thing, I promise. Do you think it's the parents' responsibility in recruiting, or is it the coach's responsibility in recruiting, or is it both?
The parents. Why would a coach get a kid recruited?
See, this probably where we going to bump heads at. I agree with that, but I'm 50-50, okay? I think it's the parents' responsibility if they...
That, remember, we don't have Coach Uppenhagens and all of that. So now continue what you say. All right. 40,000 and 35,000.
Okay.
They getting 150. You know.
All right. I'm with you on that. Because reason why I say it's 50-50 because only I'm gonna say the parent if they know. We got a lot of single parents out there, whether they men or women. Some of them probably never went to college ball, probably don't never know what recruiting is, so they don't know. They don't know what questions to ask. But on the flip side of that, there's no reason for you not to get involved with your kid's counselor. You should be going to that school saying, how can my kid get in school? I see he all district. What classes he got to take? Don't wait till his junior year because your GPA starts your sophomore year. They let you mess up your freshman year, running the halls and all of that. But your sophomore year, that's when that GPA starts. So if he's just in all PE and arts and craft, nothing wrong with them. No, he needs to take 2 foreign classes. I need to try to get him in some higher classes, whether it's AP, if he can handle them. When do we take the SAT? I heard they got this thing called the PSAT. Can my son take that? Or can my daughter take that? Now, that's my 2 sides for the parents. For the coaches, I understand what you said, and I agree to somewhat. But as a coach, if I'm asking you to stay eligible, when you hurt, get in the training room to get better, stay out of trouble. If I'm doing everything you asking me to stay eligible, stay healthy, and to help you win, I think you owe me a little bit more in helping me get recruited too.
So what's your definition of getting recruited?
That's what I need to know.
Okay. Okay. My definition of getting recruited is I want to know if you sending my name out to schools or if you sending my films out. I know we got Huddle, but every kid don't know how to do Huddle. They film be too long.
I can guarantee every kid that puts something on film, every coach talked to another coach for that kid. I can guarantee that. Now, is it Texas?
You think so?
Now, is it Texas? It might not be Texas. It might not be U of H. When UTPB come through and this kid who could play ball, he might not go P5, that coach telling him that. And guess what that kid's saying? I don't want to go to UTPB, coach. I want to go to Texas.
I want to go to Alabama. I've heard that.
So that's the other side that I realized with helping these parents try to get their kids recruited. Hey, don't go to this camp. Go to this camp. I already talked to the coach. Guess where they went? They went to the other camp. Didn't get talked to. Didn't get looked at. Didn't get anything. So you just wasted $1,500 on the trip. Where I'm telling you, so that's the other side of it. That's like, I do think some coaches probably could do a better job of trying to get more kids recruited. But honestly, these kids don't want to play college football. They don't.
Man, it's crazy you say that, and I believe that.
The idea of what it looked like to be a college football player, if that makes sense. So I get to Sunday morning, I get to post my picture where I caught a ball on my IG, right? I make the Twitter post, great game, go Buffs, see y'all next week, 1,000 like. I get to go out, okay, popping bottles, got the section. That's what they see and they want. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm trying to explain to them. You got to want the football side of it to get that side. It don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? You can have things while you're trying to get to a point. I'm not going to tell you, oh, don't chase girls. If girls was going to make you go to the league, chase every female you need to chase. I'm not that type of guy because everybody got a motivation that's different. But what I'm trying to make them realize is you got to play football and that work non-negotiable. And a lot of these kids don't want to play football, coach. It sounds good.
Yeah.
You can't tell me you want to go to college if you're not doing 150 push-ups every day. That takes
you ain't working out. You just go
take 10 minutes. So how can you tell me that you're trying to go D1 and you don't even do 150 push-ups every day? So
don't want to put the work in, and they're afraid of the weight room too.
And they running from that weight room, and that's why I just got to protect the coaches because now it's like the kids I do project, they gonna look at them kids if they want to come back and recruit some more kids. So do I want to talk to this coach about this kid if I know he good in football but got character issues or whatever, and everybody else think he's supposed to get a scholarship because he cold, but this kid be cussing teachers out, and I know he gonna get. So it's just hard to say because I know kids don't go where them coaches telling them to go, and some of them coaches not talking to certain places where them kids could be a fit at too. It's a two-way street, but I feel like it's more on them kids and them parents because kids entitled nowadays, coach, like very, very, very entitled.
Hey man, I tell kids all the time.
I went D1 and walked on D2, so I don't get that side. You don't want to play football. That's all I hear. If there's anything else that comes, you don't want to play ball, bro. You don't, and it's cool. You want to play football how you want to play, and that's fine. But you need to say that. Don't be like, all I want to do is go to college and play football, coach. No. All you want to do is go to college and play football how you want to play. That need to be known. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, that was my last one, Coach, man. I just had to ask that because from what I was told from a reliable source, you can have a good season and at a certain school, they don't have scouts coming to the school. And I'm trying to figure out why. So is the coaches not doing the job, or like you said, it's the parents and the kids?
That portal too. They're not taking a lot of high school guys. That's that portal.
Yeah, they'll go get them JUCO kids too because they ain't got to coach them much. They already ready. And you know, on the college level, they want to win. It ain't let's try to build first because if you ain't winning, they'll get rid of you.
Yeah, I'm gonna get fired, so I can't take a chance on a development project. I need somebody that's college ready to go.
Yeah. Well, hey, with that being said, man, we at the end to our shouts outs. I'm gonna give you the floor and let you give a shout out to whoever you'd like to give a shout out to. Man, I really appreciate you coming on the show. We're gonna have to do this again, man. And I appreciate you.
What to talk
And
about, man.
yeah, man. And like I told you when we was talking off the camera, man, family ties, dog. We connected in a lot of ways, and you know, a lot of people probably don't know. But I'm gonna let you have the floor. I'm gonna get off the screen, let you have the floor, give your shouts out, and then at the end of that, I'm gonna wrap it up and we'll play our outro. So you got the floor.
I just want to give a shout out to Coach Peace, man. Peace of mind, me and him. Been doing some good stuff, man. I want to give a shout out to all my parents that I work with. Y'all are the real MVPs. I wouldn't be able to do this without y'all. Even from paying on time, with the pay going up, trusting me to help y'all kids get to where they need to go and want to go. I just wouldn't be able to do none of this without y'all. So I appreciate y'all trusting me with y'all's kids. My support system and family is too many people to name, but just know I appreciate all y'all. Everything that y'all do helps me get to this point, especially my mom and my little brother. They sacrifice a lot just to let me be able to sustain being an entrepreneur and being self-made, you know, because I don't have investors, I don't have help. So the only people that really help me is my mom and my little brother on that side, aside from a few friends. But I want to shout out all the coaches that I communicate with on a regular basis that take time to really look at my kids, like Coach Washington. He was the DB coach at Texas State when I was there. He not just talking to me and just, you know what I'm saying? He really looking at my kids. Cam Martin, he at Texas State now. He just left UIW, offered Trayvon Randall's little brother. So just the guys that's genuine and organic in the business. I appreciate y'all, man. And last but not least, I appreciate you for having me on the show, man. Definitely had fun, definitely enjoyed myself, definitely want to come back again. And we're going to have to link up sooner than later. I'm already going to send it to my daddy and get that going. Oh, shout out to Beat. I want to start training without him. I got to do that every time. I wouldn't be training. He the one that got me to train. So, but yeah, man. Happy holidays, everybody. Merry Christmas. Don't let people think having New Year's resolution is a bad thing. If you want to start fresh and start from scratch and be a new you, do it. Take it day by day. Even if you mess up a day, try to restart. But there's a lot of negativity. A lot of people say a lot. You got to block out the noise and focus on you. But yeah, I appreciate it and definitely be back again, man.
Well, all right, man. I really appreciate it, man. You got some of them guys you training, man. If you feel they deserve to be on here, man, be sure you send them my way. I don't mind, giving a kid a little exposure. Yeah.
They want us to maybe meet somewhere we eat, and then we could just, you know what I'm saying, interact, like having a lunch or something, and just.
All right.
So that's what.
I'm cool with that too, man. Hey, you get it set up, time permits, we can get that going.
Yeah, because some of my college guys down here, during the break before they go back. So we'll try to figure something to stay in contact after this.
All right. Well, that's a bit, man. I really appreciate you being on the show. If you can hold on for the outro, we got a little outro that it features you in that as well. But we really appreciate you on the show. So don't link off. I'm going to take you off the screen, get these little shots out, and we're going to end the show.
All right.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed that show. I am Coach O. This is the National Scouting Service podcast show, and our special guest tonight was Mr. DeChe Milburn. He is the CEO and the founder of iNEEDit. So you can follow him on all the social media platforms, whether it's on Instagram, Twitter, or on Facebook as well. With that being said, I got to give a shout out to my sponsors with Two Pits Barbecue, Coach L. Campbell, and Briggs Goalkeeper Training. I appreciate you guys, what y'all are doing for National Scouting Service. I know they tune in on the show. They've been critiquing me, making sure I'm doing the right thing because I don't want them to take my sponsorship away from me. But anyway, you can follow us on YouTube under National Scouting Service, as well as on Facebook under National Scouting Service. We have our own podcast radio station, which is on Stationhead. You'll have to download the Stationhead app and follow National Scouting. And we're also on Spotify under National Scouting Service as well. At the end of the show, we will be playing Coach Milburn's playlist on National Scouting Stationhead radio station. So download the app and tune in for that. This has been a great show. The show will be uploaded on YouTube. You'll be able to see it tomorrow, and it will also be on Spotify by audio tomorrow as well. And this show recording is also on Stationhead as well. With that being said, I am Coach O. This is the National Scouting Podcast Show. Hope y'all have a very happy and safe New Year's. Hope you had a very safe and happy Christmas as well. If you're getting out, if you're in the Texas area, the Houston area, we are getting some rain and thunderstorms, so be careful on that road. And we hope you tune in to the next show. We will be live tomorrow at 6 p.m. We will have a special guest on our show, Mr. A.J. Williams, Mr. Archie Williams Jr. He will be on this show, followed by a show on Saturday where we'll have a receiver who's going to announce what college he's going to by the name of Chad Walker, who's out of Galveston Ball, and he's a young man that I have coached myself. But with that being said, we are out. This is the National Scouting Service Show. I am Coach O. Appreciate everybody that tuned in. Appreciate our special guests. And we're going to go out with our outro and see you on the next show.